But so let's get right into it. Let's go to the review, and we're going to turn to Steven.
Okay, so this is one of those movies that makes me glad movies exist. This movie,
just pour your soul out.
Just every second of it, I was just like, "This is awesome! This is awesome! This is awesome!" Literally, the entire movie that was running through my head. It was just amazing from beginning to end. What was it like? An hour 50? Hour 50? Yeah.
It's just under 2 hours.
So short. And when at the end, I was like, no, I want more.
It's very concise, compact, yeah.
It was just every actor, their performance was absolutely incredible. Especially Haley Steinfeld. She kept up with all of. I mean, she had amazing actors all around her, and she kept up right in step with them.
The movie was on her shoulders.
Yeah,
she's
even
the lead actor.
Exceeded them in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find the words how much I love this movie. It's just possibly the best movie of the year.
You say that like you want to make it, but you're hesitating to.
I'm so high on it right now.
Yeah.
Like right now, I feel like this is the best movie ever made. I know I need some distance.
Whoa. Greatest film of all time.
Yeah, I know I need some distance. That's
and
how
all
much.
Future.
Yes, there will never be a better movie. No, I'm really high on this movie right now. I think it's amazing, and I need some distance to get some perspective. But it was just incredible. This is how every Western should be done.
I mean, I thought it was a great movie, but I thought it was a great movie. It didn't really do the same thing for me that other great movies this year have done, like Toy Story 3 and Social Network, where, I don't know, I just came at it and I was like, well, that was good. But I guess it didn't really, knock my socks off the way I was hoping it would. But like you said, everything about it was great. It was just, I don't know.
So it's hard to find a complaint, but for you, it didn't have that emotional impact.
There's that X factor, you can't really define it. It just wasn't there for me. I thought all the performances were amazing. If it gets nominated for Best Picture, I'll be like, well, that is deserving.
Deserves it.
All that kind of thing. It just, I don't know.
What if it wins?
Well,
if it beats out some other movies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of the acting performances and things like that.
Well, performances, I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, I literally just saw this movie 2 hours ago. So maybe in time, my appreciation for it will grow. This is awful because it sounds like I didn't like it that much.
No, yeah.
I really did.
It just didn't pull you into the world.
Yeah. I mean, part of it was
I was willing to call it the best movie of all time.
No, I think part of it was I was putting up against.
But no, let's talk a little about the Coen Brothers. What kind of defines a Coen Brothers film? We've talked a little bit about the writing, but it's
I don't want to say a focus on, but an exposing of violence. That's definitely part of the Coen Brothers. Violence,
especially recently.
Yeah. Violence for
I'm trying to think,
a purpose.
It started out with Blood Simple.
Simple, yeah.
Violence with a purpose, I guess, is the best way I can explain it. They, in No Country for Old Men, I mean, the violence in that movie is so extreme, but it all pushes towards this idea of chance and randomness and almost meaninglessness, which is a strange,
I mean, their purpose is to show you the meaninglessness of it. They use it. They actually use the violence,
But, I mean, that's definitely a defining feature, that they use violence with a purpose to get at some idea.
See, No Country, I haven't read the novel, but I've read that it was a very straightforward adaptation.
So have I, yeah.
And I think that the Coens are really good at adapting other material. Because what they did with True Grit was pretty similar to what they did with No Country. I mean, it's, or even Oh Brother, Where Art Thou. which is an adaptation of
The Odyssey. In some ways, yeah.
Brilliant adaptation of the Odyssey.
Yeah.
It's like they pretty much can do no wrong writing-wise.
Yeah, their writing's impeccable. Even the way that they use music, their score.
Yeah.
I mean, because A Brother Were Out There has an amazing, as far as the music goes, that's really adds to that film. And then on the other side, one of the most disturbing things about No Country for Old Men is its complete lack of musical score. It's just its refusal to ever give you anything.
Just how they use sound in general.
Yeah.
You know, when, for example, in this, True Grit, when those fingers get cut off, you hear that crunch. There's no sound. There's nothing else. You hear that.
Yeah.
And it's so visceral. And it almost provides the soundtrack for that scene.
True Grit versus Superbad.
This is difficult, but Superbad, I really enjoy Superbad. It's one of those... I've been thinking there's a real divide in comedies lately, where there's this... because of recently watching Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and there's these comedies that... Or I was thinking Knocked Up especially, that focus on, in a weird way, even though most of them are like sort of shock comedies, they focus on a very like positive worldview.
Yep.
Whereas, and then there's these other like sort of toss away comedies, kind of like the Steve Carell one recently, Dinner for Schmucks, that don't focus on the I mean, they're very negative. The comedy comes out of a very negative place. I mean, yeah, it's funny, but it comes out of a very negative place. And I'm really starting to get an appreciation for these kind of comedies. And I think Superbad is sort of on the top of these comedies, that the comedy comes out of a positive place.
Superbad really surprised me.
It did surprise me how
much I liked it.
Superbad really surprised me.
It's such a raunchy movie in places. And like I almost like it in spite of myself.
Yeah.
But the characters, I mean, the relationship between those two, between Jonah Hill and Michael Cera, is such an interesting and unique relationship in cinema. Just like that, well, codependent.
I love the moment when they're drunk and they're like sitting across from each other in the sleeping bags, and they're just talking.
I want to shout it from the rooftops. I love my friend. No, but the final scene in that movie is the one that clinches it for me, because when they're going off together with the respective, love interests, and they just look at each other over their shoulders, and it's like
they look back at each other. Mm-hmm.
Like Jonah Hill, especially in that scene, just looks terrified. Like he's moving into unknown territory without his best friend.